Good day everyone and welcome to the third of our online seminars. Today we're going to talk about magnetic technology for the waste division, for waste recycling. My name is Sascha Fiedler and I will be your moderator for today. Before we start with our presentation, I would like to briefly introduce today's agenda. First, we will have a presentation of about 15 to 20 minutes before we switch to a Q&A section. Our registered users will have the opportunity to put their questions down below in the chat, where I will be collecting all of your questions and later forward them to our expert. Speaking of experts, please welcome together with me our expert for today, Andreas.
Hello and good morning to our last final seminar for this month. My name is Andreas Jäger and I'm the Global Sales Director here at STEINERT for our Waste and Plastic Division. And I will guide you through the seminar during the next 20-25 minutes, and then we have the Q&A session, as Sascha already mentioned. So during the last two seminars we heard a lot about plastic separation for the chemical recycling and wood sorting from Björn last week. And today we would like to put a little bit more focus on magnets here from STEINERT, magnets and eddy currents. So therefore I would like to go back into the history when Mr. Ferdinand STEINERT started his business with magnets, lifting magnets in the beginning for the steel industry. So due to the huge industrial area here in North Rhine-Westphalia, he gained a lot of experience in metal separation with lifting magnets, and later on with the further development of magnets we improved and expanded the business over the years. So continuously improving the technology led to the next step, to the self-cleaning overhand suspension magnet, which we still produce. Of course, we have a new design, we have a wider product portfolio today, but we are still involved very much in that technology. So, and with that first self-cleaning magnet, we started to be more involved in smaller sorting plants. First, to recover all kind of ferrous material, and of course it's a very big subject to protect the next step in a process, like a grinder or a shredder, to remove first all heavy items, so all heavy metal pieces. So if we go and continue in the history, we did another big development, which was at that point pretty obvious to have this. So an eddy current separator which removes and recover all kind of non-ferrous material. And here it's worth to mention that STEINERT invented the eccentric pole system, where we had a patent for a very, very long time. This technology, of course, is still existing, and I will explain later a little bit more in detail what that means and where the advantages are. So let's look a little bit into the metal market in general and why it is so important to use magnets and eddy currents for various applications. So let's have a look at the metal consumption. The metal consumption worldwide. So this slide is showing a long outlook until the 22nd century, which is still far away, of course. But here we can see that the metal consumption is growing constantly due to a growth of the entire population worldwide. So we need more aluminum. We need more aluminum for the automotive industry, for the car industry. So, and of course, we need also more iron for different applications, for different products. And the goal is, of course, to recover all these commodities for circularity, to get it back into the production when it comes to waste sorting for different applications. So in here, another important subject are pricing. So the metal prices are increasing constantly. Of course, it's an up and down. Currently, the prices are dropping a little bit, but as you can see here, the prices are growing constantly, which has a big impact on the entire environment, and that makes it necessary to recover these valuable materials. So where do we need magnets and eddy currents? So therefore, I would like to show you a short example, a short overview flowchart of a C&D waste processing plant, where you can see we have different grain sizes. We have a heavy fraction, we have a medium heavy fraction with different grain sizes, and as you can see on the next slide, highlighted in black, you can see where are magnets, electromagnets or permanent magnets, and also eddy current, which is usually the second step after we recover all metal materials. We take out all the non-ferrous materials. So first the magnet and then the eddy current. That's a pretty common way to process these materials. So if we look a little bit more into the magnet part, here you can see on the top left side, that's a basic principle to show how an overband magnet is positioned. So we have different positions due to different application and designs of a sorting plant. Here it's a inline position, which is in a sorting plant the best position to have, of course. So, and below we have a magnet drum taking out, sucking or removing the metal material by drum. And on the right side you can see what different design we are using for our industry. So for the waste industry, on the top right side we have a permanent magnet, and here you have an electromagnet. That's our UME series, and I will explain a little bit more in detail later on how this unit is designed and what we do differently to others so that we produce our own coils, but I will explain it later on. So then we have magnet rolls, we have magnet drum, and here that's something I would like also to explain in more detail, our UMP move. So that's our permanent magnet, and if you look at this slide, it's an example as well how this unit is positioned. Here we have also a position at 90 degrees due to the fact that we supply this magnet to the mobile equipment industry. So this unit will be positioned on a mobile machine. It's either a shredder, a screen, or a grinder. It's a very light unit, therefore we use it for mobile machines, and it's a very powerful unit because of the neodymium core that we have inside. So, and that makes it very flexible, and also the different interfaces that we are using for different machines, for different positions. So the frame that our customers are using is different, and we can easily adapt with different interfaces our magnet to the right position. So, and if we look a little bit more in detail, what I mentioned already, to our UME series, so that's our electromagnet series. So it has a special design. If we look inside the magnet. And here you can see the magnet coil. This coil we produce in-house under our Anofol brand. So under Anofol we cut the aluminum stripe on the right size, on the right dimension, and then we put it into a rectangular shape, as you can see here. So it's not a round coil, it has a rectangular shape. And that being said, we can cover a wider surface, so we have a bigger magnet force in the edges. So, and that means we can extract more valuable material, more ferrous material due to the entire design, and especially due to the design of the magnet coil. So that's a look inside, and on the left side you can see an example how a complete magnet, electromagnet looks like. So again, here a short principle how this unit works. So highlighted in red you can see the magnet field. So it goes very deep, it attracts all the ferrous pieces and drops it on the right side behind the splitter. And of course this position can also vary, the height can also vary because of different burden depths on the conveyor. So that's just a principle to show how this unit works. So now let's continue a little bit with the eddy current separator. So that's a functional principle, how this unit works. And I mentioned already our drum that is inside, that is eccentric pole drum, that is very close to the conveyor, and this means we are very close to the material, so we can recover a lot of material with this principle. On the bottom left side, EDDY move, I will explain later what that unit is for. EDDY, that's also something special here at STEINERT, so we have a specific frame that makes it easier to maintain the entire unit. EDDY Fine is designed for small pieces, for small grain sizes, especially here in our environment for the plastic industry, to save filters when it comes to extrusion later on. And that's what we are doing with our EDDY Fines. Can Master, as the name stands for. With that unit we work in the environment, in the sorting plant, to recover all type of aluminum cans. So here a short example on the right side, a short video clip where you can see how fast you can change the belt due to the C-frame. So that makes it very easy to take off the used belt, the worn belt, and to put a new one on. So, and that is very important if you have a complex sorting plant where you do not have a lot of space, and that makes it much more easier for the operators, for the maintenance crew to change the belt. And so this is done in almost 10 minutes. So here again the working function. So up front you have, for example, a vibration feeder, so other system can be used as well. So, and our pole drum pushes the non-ferrous materials above the splitter. So this position of course can vary due to different grain sizes, different materials, and we can, as you have seen already, we can also move the entire pole drum in different position due to the material and grain size. So here's some samples, showcases of around the globe. So here you can see the company Flasipel in Brazil, Sao Paulo. So you can see Mr. Silvio Urais. He's also using not just our magnets, also flake sorter for plastic production, but in that plant it's lightweight packaging. He is using our magnet to recover all ferrous material up front. So another important application here, a showcase from company Fantoni in Italy. So Mr. Fantoni, part of the board member, was very involved in the design of the plant. So we had a lot of discussions with him, and at the end we had a nice sorting plant up front with magnets, eddy current, and later on Björn explained it already last week during his seminar. He is also using X-ray sorters and optical sorters to produce the final product that he used for the production later on, for MDF production. So, and lightweight packaging application, here a showcase in Belgium. So with PreZero, as you can see here, one of the first steps after the material is shredded and screened, we have also our UME magnets to extract all ferrous material, the valuable material, to use this for further production in the industry. So as you can see, a lot of different applications, different showcases where we have our units in operation. And here we have another one, as I mentioned already. That's company Rohrdorfer in Austria, one example of our EDDY Move. So that's the only portable machine we have in our product portfolio. It's built on a hook lift frame. So in the front you have again our UMP move, so a permanent magnet to remove all ferrous material, and then later on the eddy current separator removes all kind of non-ferrous material. Very flexible machine here. It's will be fed with a screen, and you can also use other feeding systems, and it's very flexible to move it on site. So you have seen a lot of different applications, you've seen a lot of different materials, and I would like to welcome you to our test and development center here in Pulheim, which is close to our headquarters. And here we can simulate a complete process. So we have various different machines in our waste sorting line where we can simulate the entire process. Please send the material to us. We make the analysis. We can look much more in detail to your material, and then we can discuss the process later on. So we are almost finished, and as Sasha mentioned already in the beginning, so we have now our Q&A session where we would like to answer your questions. So feel free to send us a question, and I'm sure Sasha has collected already some of them. Sasha.
Yes. Thank you very much for your presentation. It was very informative. And speaking of the test center, one of our questions, Bernhard asked, how do you test the system, and do we have test data? So, yeah.
Of course, we have material that we have tested already, so we can first have a look, or we can have a chat about your material, and when we can discuss what you would like to sort, and then we can decide, okay, what equipment is needed? Is it a magnet? Is it an eddy current, or both? And optical sorter in addition. So we have different possibilities to test your material, since we have different units in our wasteline.
And he also asked what would be the smallest grain size our eddy current separators can handle.
Yeah, that's a good question. So the smallest grain size I mentioned earlier, our EDDY fines, and this unit can handle material smaller than 1 millimeter. So, and therefore, when it comes to plastic sorting on flake size, we have still a lot of fine aluminum, for example, in the feedstock, and that's something we can remove.
Okay. Fabian asked, how many parts of 100 can EDDY detect or extract? So how many percent actually?
Yeah, it's also a good question. So that's something that we have to check once we know your material. So, and it depends a little bit, of course, grain size is an important subject, and also material distribution, but we can achieve a purity, for example, 95 and higher, but that depends very much on the input material. So if you need further information of course, feel free to contact us later on, and we can discuss in detail what's needed and how we can process your material.
So one question from soon. Yes, this seminar will be online afterwards. You will receive an email with the link to the recording. And I also got questions beforehand through our registration form, and someone was interested in magnetic extraction in tire shredding. So maybe you can tell us something about that.
Yeah, for tire shredding, of course, we have different possibilities to recover the ferrous material. As I said already, we have a permanent and electromagnet. It depends a little bit on your setup, but of course we have units in operation where we work in a tire application. But if you need more information, again, contact us and we will check how is the setup, how is the application, and then we can discuss a little bit further what's needed.
Okay, then there's a very specific question. What is the weight of our widest eddy current belt? Do you know this?
That's a specific question, so that's something I have to check. I'm honest, but of course we can provide that information after our seminar.
But the changement of the belt would be the same even for the widest one?
Yeah, the system when it's an EDDY frame, so we have different configurations. But with the EDDY frame, it doesn't matter how wide this unit is. It starts with the smallest unit, 50 centimeter up to 2 meter, and the change of the belt is always the same.
Okay, so moving, that's it for the questions from the chat, but if you still have some more questions, feel free to put them in the chat down below and I will be asking them, Andreas. But going back to the questions asked before, so what drivetrain does the EDDY Move use?
That's a good question. So I mentioned it's a flexible machine so that you can use it on site. So you can run it either on a generator, so run the diesel generator with very low fuel consumption, or you can run it on a power line, so you can connect it directly to the grid. So depends a little bit where you are, but you have possibilities either diesel generator or by power line.
Okay, and Bernhard has another question. He asked whether we would test 0.5 millimeter aluminum material if we would do a test like this.
Yeah, I mean, just have a chat about it. So, first, what we also can do, send us some smaller samples. So your material with aluminum content, with these small pieces, you can also send us like a bucket, and that we can check it, and then we can see how that works, if we can reach an efficient result. I'm sure we can because of the EDDY Fines pole system, and then we can discuss further what is the next step.
Yeah, so the best way to do this would be to go to our website, search for or look for the contact finder to find your responsible person within the STEINERT company, so they can give you the best answers to your problems. All right, so that's it from the questions from the chat right now. Let me check. Yeah, so that's it right now. So
perfect.
Thank you very much for your attendance. Thank you very much, Andreas.
Thank you, Sasha.
I have a last question. Will this be our last online seminar, or will there be some more future online
Of course
seminars?
not. That was the last seminar this month. We would like to continue with these seminars because we have a lot to tell to the industry, because we have a wide product portfolio for different applications, and we will definitely continue with this kind of setup. So also from my side, thanks for listening, thanks for joining. So to the participants here from Germany and in Europe. So I like this setup, and thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and hope to see and talk to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.